Well, let's bring in Laura Ingraham, radio talk show host and Fox News contributor. Laura, your initial thoughts of this evening?
I think that Virginia race is really key, Brett. We talked about that on Special Report last night. That Marco Rubio is leading in Northern Virginia, which is populated by lobbyists, government contractors. We know from past elections, more moderate Republican voters. Doesn't surprise me that Rubio is doing well there. Loudoun County, a new immigrant influx into Prince William County, obviously Fairfax County. He has to do well there, and I can't imagine he wouldn't. But the interesting thing about those exit polls, all the talk, Trump's not a real conservative, Trump's this, Trump's that. Well, the voters who identify themselves as conservative in Virginia in these exit polls are going big for Trump. The somewhat conservatives split Trump, Rubio, and the not very conservative going more moderate going to Rubio. So the conservative voters, and I imagine this is going to be replicated elsewhere, are tending to break toward Trump. But Virginia is a very important state. Whether Northern Virginia can be a momentum builder for Rubio, I think is a bit of a stretch because the base of the Republican Party is still conservative. I would say that Northern Virginia is kind of an outlier in the GOP today, but nevertheless very important for the Commonwealth.
Yeah, it looks like Southern Virginia is going for Trump overwhelmingly. You know, Trump has won Georgia, Alabama, Massachusetts, Tennessee so far. And I was just talking to the panel a moment ago and put it in business terms, saying that this is essentially Donald Trump in a hostile takeover of the Republican Party that this party should have seen coming for years. Is that fair?
Well, I think Brett, that's an interesting formulation. I think for many of the voters, they feel like their party has been in a hostile fashion, has been taken over by the party elites on a lot of the issues we've talked about, whether it's a globalization, the borders, some foreign policy issues, and for them, they think that Trump may be the party be returning to more of a pragmatic Reagan-esque approach versus a Bush approach. I mean, Bush isn't in this race now, but I think for many people, Rubio is a very attractive, young, dynamic figure. But he really is a lot more connected to the Bush legacy than the Reagan legacy for a lot of folks. So that's where Cruz comes in. That's where a lot of Cruz's appeal is, with a lot of those Reagan voters and stalwart conservatives who see him as a more likely bearer of the Reagan torch.
You know, you mentioned Ted Cruz, and a lot of people in the conservative movement think he is the true conservative in this race. Back in August of 2015, he said, "I view the SEC primary, which is now Super Tuesday, as a firewall. It looks like he's going to win Texas. He's playing well in Arkansas and Oklahoma." So what about tonight for Ted Cruz?
I think this is a moment of truth for Cruz after tonight. I think he probably wins Texas. But if he doesn't win handily, and Trump even comes somewhat close, there's going to be a moment where I think Ted Cruz has got to do the math. And I imagine the Rubio folks are going to be really trying to woo him over, try to band together to try to stop Trump, maybe before Florida. But Ted Cruz is going to ask himself, is he going to be more comfortable with the establishment forces that really dislike him, or more comfortable with Donald Trump and that populist appeal?
Okay, Laura, as always, thank you.
Good to see you.